What's happening, everybody? This is V3Cast, episode 28, where the band Voyager 3, that's us, talk about film, music, and all types of pop culture topics. What's happening, fellas?
Episode 28, ready to roll. Let's do this.
Roll out.
Yeah, I'm ready, but I'm tired from the weekend.
I was just going to say, I am still recovering. Can you hear my voice is a little rough because we were talking for 48 hours straight.
Do that real deep voice you did a second ago.
Oh yeah, you mean like my radio voice? We are here, yeah. V3Cast, episode 28, here coming out of Detroit, Michigan. Oh man,
awesome,
man.
Yeah, we did a lot of talking last weekend.
Oh yeah,
we did. We're going to talk further about it during this episode.
That's right, because this episode is really focusing on the Motor City Nightmares recap. We're going to share all kinds of cool stuff that we saw and did and played, and got a couple surprises for you. This show is quickly turning into the interview show. Am I right, Aaron? Am I right, Greg?
We're striving for covering new ground. We're not just a band anymore. We're podcasters.
That's right. I can't believe it. That's right.
You know, along those lines, I told you guys I got recognized from the podcast at Motor City Nightmares. Not from being in a band for 35 years. I've only been playing music for my entire life.
Your entire life.
Yeah, somebody stopped me. They're like, "Don't you do a podcast?" And I'm like, "Man, this is the YouTube influence, right? You know, holy moly!"
There you go. Yeah. We've entered a whole new world, man.
That's right. Yeah, and I do have to say too, this podcast has been steadily growing. Every month, there's more viewers, there's more likes, and people are commenting. And do us a favor too, like this video and subscribe on the YouTube page, because we're trying to get to 500. Because once you get to 500, you can do some extra fun stuff. You can do like some cool live stuff and other fun such things. So anyway,
tell your friends, man.
And it's fun. It helps us out. We appreciate it. Speaking of appreciation, we're going to get to all the cool people that we met at Motor City Nightmares. But first, since my throat's a little raspy, I got to know, what are y'all drinking? Aaron, I can't go first because I'm asking. That's like selfish.
Right. It's kind of weird. I got Sam Adams.
All right.
Ding dong.
Oh, yeah, Aaron, you left one of those in my cooler.
Well, it's yours now, man.
I drank it already.
That looks really cold. Is that like a little ice on the bottle? Looking nice.
Yeah, it's cold. Look at that. You can see that. What is that called? Sweat? The bottle is sweating? Yeah. That's how we like it.
Oh, sounds so appetizing. All right. Enjoy that Samual Adams.
Man, I haven't had a Sam Adams since like it came out, I think. So that was like a trip down memory lane for me.
All right.
Yeah. What about you, Greg? What are you drinking?
Non-alcoholic tonight. Have you ever had this? Purely green tea?
Green tea, man.
Unsweetened.
Nice.
People love green tea, but unsweetened, doesn't it taste like dishwater?
It tastes Aaron. It tastes like tea.
Aaron was not very polite.
Oh, man. That was me being an asshole again.
See, here's the thing.
I'm going to regret saying that for 3 months.
That's right.
I have this theory that people who, you know, and I'm not passing judgment. I'm just making an observation. But people who drink sweetened tea, sweetened coffee, they don't like the taste of the actual thing. They just like the taste of sugar.
What I said about dishwater, I stand by that now, because you're judging everybody else who likes sweet tea. Like a lot of people like sweet stuff.
It's an observation.
Oh, I don't know.
There's a difference, Aaron.
Is Arnold Palmer in that category? Hey, I love me an ice cold Arnold Palmer, man.
I want everybody to drink what they enjoy.
All right.
There you go. Well, let me tell you what I enjoy. Look what I got rocking, man. This can's sweating too. This is tropical ginger beer by Q. First of all, Q is one of the best ginger beers on the market. And this one, tropical ginger beer. So it has like a, little pineapple going on and other such things.
They did tropical, man.
This is new.
Level.
Yep. Oh yeah, man. Let me see if I can get a good crack on this thing. Let's see what's going on here.
It's been a while since Steve had a ginger beer on here.
Hey,
I feel like
where is that out of, Steve? Florida or something?
Q, that's a good question. I actually never looked to see where Q is from.
Steve, you're a podcaster now. You need to research.
Oh, is it from?
You ain't kidding.
The tropics? Like any chance? Like, Tahiti or anything?
Brooklyn, New York. Can I hear it for Brooklyn? What?
Hello, Brooklyn!
Aaron, are you just guessing?
I'm
Brooklyn,
guessing
New York.
because I'm thinking tropical. So Brooklyn is not the place I think of for tropical, but that's cool.
Oh man, I'm telling you what, Q is like top 3 ginger beers of all the ones I've had, and I've had most of them. It's really up there. So when you add that tropical to it, ooh, man, that's a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun. All right, well, everybody out there, what are you drinking? Let us know in the comments, and cheers. All right, so as we mentioned, this is going to be our Motor City Nightmares recap episode. And it was their 15th year. Can you believe that, guys? We've done 4 of them, but there's been 15 of them altogether.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. I didn't realize that. That's pretty amazing to be rocking that long.
I know. And
this year, it seems weird that I never obsessed about going to it until we sort of got involved playing it, and now I feel like I'd be missing it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whether we're playing or not, or whether we're there or not, I would probably still go for sure. It's just a great family, really is, man. Like, it's a lot of the same people that go back, a lot of the same vendors, but definitely also a fresh crop all the time too. But you just have some of these staples that are always there. But we got to say, first and foremost, thank you to Motor City Nightmares, Tommy and Dan and Dave and all the staff.
Bree.
Yep. The crews,
definitely.
All the guests and the attendees, and Amino Acids, who played with us on Saturday night. Their spaceship came down. They all got out real quick. They set up their equipment. They rocked out, and then they warped out to another dimension. That was that quick.
They disappeared real quick before anybody could catch them.
That's right.
And try to, reveal them or anything like that.
Yeah, or reverse engineer their special equipment.
Exactly.
Great Fender.
I know, man. If you get to, we get to see them like once a year. That people don't realize what a privilege that is, because nobody knows who they are or where they come from.
And let's say this too. I was talking.
We
to one of
don't
them.
even know.
We don't know who they are, but I was talking to one of them after the show, and I didn't know who he was, but I was pointing out to him that, first of all, how long they've been around. I believe 99 is when they started.
Sounds about right.
That we played with them in our old band Forge. Maybe their first show, certainly one of their first shows.
Was it
their
at
first few
Alvin's?
months? It was at Alvin's. It was certainly one of their first, few months of them playing. And there are not many bands, if any, that were around back then that we played with that are still around today.
Totally,
that's true.
Us, the 3 of us are around, but we're not Forge anymore. And but they're still Amino Acids, and that I commend that. And it's pretty damn cool to be playing with a band for that long and to know.
Sure.
Well, we don't know them very well.
We don't.
We don't know them. We don't know them.
But they're very mysterious.
Yeah, they're mysterious, but that's cool as hell to be able to say we've been playing with those guys for that long.
And I heard many people say this on Saturday in particular, that that was the biggest turnout Motor City Nightmares has had to date. I don't know if that's official or not, but a few people with the red shirts on said that. So kudos to them if that's true. I mean, it certainly seemed like it was absolutely packed and great energy, great vibe. And of course, Bruce Campbell was there. That always helps. for
Yep.
sure. So, and by the way, his suits are impeccable. Do you see his jackets and stuff like that? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, made me jealous because I like a good suit coat. Y'all know that.
I know, but I
There's,
don't know if you'll ever be quite as cool as Bruce Campbell.
No, not even close. Nope. I won't even be as cool as the guy that puts his suit coats in the case and hands them to him and takes them out. Nope, not at all.
You're as cool as him, man. Come on.
Oh, I am?
You're as cool.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
totally.
Well, goddamn, thanks.
So yeah, I mean, going back to what Steve said originally, the people who run this thing, they are always super, super nice to us and make it super easy for us. And their entire staff works really hard. So it's just really well run, and we always have fun there.
Let's talk about some of the highlight of the vendors that were there. And there was a lot of them, man. I know you guys got some cool stuff.
I spent a
some
little
highlights.
too much. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Every time Aaron would disappear for 4 or 5 minutes or something, or 10 minutes, and he'd come back, he'd have another box, another bag with something in it.
Yeah, there was some great stuff. There was a guy who did these 3D wall-mounted clocks and or key hangers, and so he had like the main zombie from the poster of Fulci's Zombie. He had
Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot, yeah. Oh,
He
and I
had
would be remiss.
Friday the 13th, Swamp Thing. Like he had a bunch of really, really good ones.
Yeah,
And
in the comments, my Canadian buddy, Swamp Music Players, said, "Oh, you're gonna skip over the Swamp Thing, are you?" So, so tisk. So,
Right.
yes, he had the Swamp Thing, and it really
Yes.
was awesome looking. I mean, it looks just like the film.
Yeah, it's great sculpture stuff that he did, and the highlight for me, of course, was Eddie from Iron Maiden, the Aces High Eddie. And I thought about getting it. I kind of spent enough money that I couldn't let myself get that one, but you never know what's in the future.
That's right.
The guy's got a website, so
Oh yeah,
No,
actually,
he was super nice, and we talked to him quite a bit. Because I kept walking by his stand, and I would stop every time and look at it, because he had a Halloween 3, I think, and that one was really cool. And then he also has They Live, but he sold that one before I got there. So
yeah.
but he showed us the picture on his phone, and it actually has hair and everything.
Yeah, it has
like he put
real
a wig
hair
on it. So cool.
Yeah,
Actually, his name is Keith, and his whole operation is called Witch Head Designs. So look him up, and we'll actually link it in the description. But
I think
Keith is
he
a
might
cool
be
dude.
on Instagram or one of those. Like I know I was able to find it.
What else were some good ones? There was a guy who had every poster you could ever want, like these mini posters. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but also a ton of t-shirts, and there was there's always so much cool stuff. I mean, I would kind of do a circuit every once an hour and end up buying something every time. There was a guy with a ton of Funko Pops, and I indulged there a little bit. What else? What about for you guys?
it was cool to walk by a staple at Motor City Nightmares, John Russo. For those who don't know, he co-wrote Night of the Living Dead with George Romero. And he still comes to all these different conventions, especially in the Midwest and East Coast, because it's not that far from Pittsburgh, where I believe he still lives. But so he was there at Motor City Nightmares, but he had a guy with him, and I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but I'll link it in the description. But he is the guy who wrote this new film coming out called Crack Coon, and there's supposedly a trailer up now for it. So I guess it's kind of like in the same bubble as Cocaine Bear. It's not related, as in it's not the same production company or same writers, but it's the same spirit of mixing a crazy animal with some kind of a drug, I guess.
Yeah.
So this is Crack Coon, and he was like kind of with John Russo, and they've collabed on some things, so they were kind of there together at their booth. But I'm gonna look up that Crack Coon trailer, see what's happening with that, get a laugh or two. Everybody says it's funny, so I'm gonna check it out.
Hey, so you guys saw that place that was right across from us, they were set up, they were called Spin City Static Tape. That's that guy that I told you about. When I go to visit Spring Lake, Michigan, I take these little, I look for reasons to kind of sneak out of the house and get away. So I like snuck out and went to this place called Spin City. I just found it on Google Maps because it was near her house, and they had vinyl. So I went out there to check it out. You know, we go check stuff out, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, all the time, whenever
yeah.
possible.
I was just checking it out.
Yeah.
Just for the record, that's all I was doing, was checking it out. So anyhow, I went in there. It's in a mall that doesn't have a lot of stores in it, so it's got kind of that empty, zombie feel to it already.
Yeah.
And then he's got a storefront on each side of the hallway, so directly across from each other. So one side is all vinyl records, CDs, tapes, posters, all that kind of stuff. I think he's got some video games in there too, maybe. I don't remember exactly, but it's mostly music. All right, so that would be Spin City, and then on the other side is Static Tape, which I believe is the VHS part of it,
nice.
And it's all movies, like Blu-rays, every format you can think of, and he's got like a bunch of old TVs set up in the back, and he's got VCRs hooked up to him. So anyways, this is that place that I told you about. I went in there and he had an entire shelf dedicated to Vinegar Syndrome, and on that shelf was one of the New York Ninja Special Edition Blu-rays. So because of that, first of all, I'm out of town. I'm like all the way across on the other side of the state. I go into this place and he just happens to have New York Ninjas. So I started talking to him, and now every time I go back to Muskegon, I go in there and reconnect with him. And then come to find out, at Motor City Nightmares, he was at the table like almost directly across from us. So his name's Harrison Lang, and the store is Spin City / Static Tape. It's in Muskegon. If you get out there, you should go check it out. I mean, the VHS store is crazy. I mean, you could spend hours in there looking at what he has. So,
that's so much
really
fun.
nice guy, and made a connection with him over the weekend even more, with the band and everything. So.
All right. So another great element of Motor City Nightmares, of course, is all the talent and celeb guests. This year was absolutely stacked. They had so many people from the Evil Dead or Ash versus Evil Dead world. I lost count. Out of those groups of people, we actually interviewed two of the actors, and very, very happy to have been able to do that. And they're ones that we're very fond of, as a matter of fact. So the first one we're going to bring to you right now. This is Kevin Keppy, who's a character and creature actor, and you would probably know the things he's been in. Smile was a horror film that came out last year, and this year he's actually been in two of the Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities anthology. He was in episode 2, Graveyard Rats. He was the corpse in that one, and also he was in episode 7, which is The Viewing, which was Panos Cosmatos' episode. He was Blob Man. So check out our interview with Kevin Keppy.
Hey, this is Steve Green from Voyager 3 and V3 Cast. We're here at Motor City Nightmares 2023, and we're here with Kevin Keppy, actor extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire.
That's right. So we're going to ask you a couple questions today. So how have you been enjoying Motor City Nightmares so far?
Motor City Nightmares has been awesome. Yeah, it's been a really good crowd. It's my first time being at this convention, and also in Detroit. And so,
first time in Detroit?
Yeah, other than my pass through the city to go to Toronto a number of years ago.
Gotcha.
But anyways, great time. This is a great convention. A lot of awesome people. I've been to a number of conventions, especially as a fan.
Yeah.
And a lot of awesome people here. Great thing to see. Everybody's awesome. I love these kind of conventions, and everybody here. Everybody's good feeling, good energy.
Yeah, everybody here likes the same stuff. Seen the similar movies. It's great.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
And music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was just telling Kevin that I turned him on to Handsome, who we just talked about on the last podcast episode and several others. So he'll be checking out Handsome. I hope you love him as much as I do.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, right on. A couple other questions I have for you. is what director do you think you'd like to work with in the future? Is there any wish list, bucket list directors that you really want to work with?
Yes. Well, as I told you, we were talking, whatever, like, because you're wearing the shirt. Of course, John Carpenter is like an amazing director.
Yes.
And not only just as a director, but of course his music's amazing. So he's always been like, The Thing is one of my favorite movies. It has been for a long time. And of course, like They Live, and you know, that kind of stuff. But he's awesome. And but you know, Guillermo del Toro would be really awesome as well. I could work with him as a director. Because he's such a passionate filmmaker. And he's an all-around artist, and he knows makeup very well. So he loves the creatures and all that stuff. So,
which is one of your specialties.
Oh, I know, right? So, like, I know Doug Jones has worked with them a lot, and they've had a really good relationship and building those stories together.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. When you're in the makeup chair, because since you do a lot of creature type roles, when you're in the makeup chair and you're spending hours getting prepared, do you A, listen to podcasts, B, listen to music, or C, sleep?
To tell you the truth, how about D? None of the above.
Okay.
So, at least for me, some people will do those things that I'm aware of, but mostly for me, I'm paying attention and being there with the makeup artist.
Okay.
And I also do some modeling, like for Neil's school, Legends Makeup Academy.
Nice.
And so, same deal as like, not only are you in the chair, this is all my behalf, like not only are you just in the chair, keeping stuff placed onto you, it's about you being present with the makeup artist and working with them.
Right on.
So on and so forth. Like if you're naturally intuitive to what they're doing, if they're working on this phase, if you need to lean this way, if you need to if they need to see the underside of your arm, they're working here, you just intuitively work with them and where they're going, and so you just become a movable canvas for them.
Nice.
So you're being present.
I hadn't considered that angle whatsoever. That's really cool.
Some people I think just sit there and they're like, text whatever, which can be done. But I like being present and being part of the process.
Gotcha.
And it's fun. And some people I've worked with, we listen to great music. Sometimes we worked on one show, like we're listening to punk and like 80s metal and like not hair metal, like
totally.
So fun stuff. So it's all about being present, having fun, and being part of the process.
Very cool. Yeah. You want to live and breathe all of it in. Yes, great.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right on. That's an excellent answer. Let's see. Here's a cool one that actually guitar player Aaron, cameraman, thought of. And he asked, what are some of your techniques or approaches to get your the message and the mannerisms and the attitude across through sometimes a lot of makeup prosthetics? What's kind of the headspace there?
That's a great question indeed. I'm naturally a theater trained actor, so that's where I learned how to do acting, and of course I started doing more film work after that. But in theater, you have to be really elaborate. So you'll see a lot of big movements. You'll see, especially musical actors that do musicals, like there's all very dramatics and things. And so a lot of times you have to be that way in big heavy suits or different things that have going on. So it's about being aware and cognizant of where your body is at, how your body's moving. Because sometimes you have no idea if you have like a big fat arm here or whatever, a big muscle arm. You have no idea, like, normally you might move a little bit, but you may have to move real big for the
exaggeration.
Total exaggeration. The same thing in your face. I have big manners and expressions in my face and in my body. So I use that to my advantage in like suits and different like heavy makeups that require that, because sometimes it's hard to move like latex or silicone or whatever. So the more you can, and even like your eyebrows, like if things are made to your face and your body, so even if it's thick, it's right pressed against your skin, and then it'll move with you, but you have to work it. It's like lifting weights for your face or something.
I got you. Right on. That's the whole craft and art and science to it all. It's really cool.
It is. You have to be aware of it, and also like before you go on set, sometimes you do like a makeup test beforehand, so you have an idea like how it looks and feels. You don't get a lot of time with that. So usually, like when before I go to set, I'm in the makeup trailer, I get into everything, stand in front of the mirror, and I look to see like how certain things move. I'm like, I like this, this works very well this way. I'm like, I don't like that, so let me try this. And so it's all about playing, trying, and discovering. So it's a whole world of discovery, creativity, and that's another amazing aspect to the art of it.
Yeah, right on. That's very cool. Very cool. All right, last question for the day is what's a cool album you've been enjoying lately, new or old?
Yes. Oh, yes. I'll tell you two of them. One old, as I've just been listening more to the Sisters of Mercy, Floodline. What is it?
I don't know if I know that one.
It is. Gosh, which one is it? And my Apple Music is now screwing with me right now. It is. Yes, the Sisters of Mercy, Floodland.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it's like 80s, like goth rock.
Yes, the beginnings of that whole movement, basically.
Yes, 87, yeah. So that's a rediscovery. I do enjoy that. But also, too, I've always been a really big Silverchair fan.
Right on.
So I love Daniel John. So I followed his career for a long time. And he put out a new LP, his second as a solo artist.
Okay.
This last May this year, called Future Never.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed that. I listened to it a lot.
Future Never makes me think he's like saying, I'm never going to get old. So
yeah, I know.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really good. I listened to it a lot. I bought it on vinyl.
Okay.
He's still there in Australia. And Future Never. And it's a really good album. It's not. He has some Silverchair riffs and stuff like that. A little bit on guitar, but
it's its own thing.
It's his own thing by far. I mean, I think he's just an amazing musical artist. His first solo album was really good too. So I'm just a big fan of him.
Dig it. Right on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kevin. We really appreciate it for sure. We'll be in touch and enjoy the convention.
Absolutely, appreciate it. Yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us on V3 Cast.
Panos happened to be the best, at least in my opinion, the best episode of the Cabinet Curiosities. And he was the character he played was so revolting. It's hard to even look at it. Like it's one of those things that messes with your eyes because it's so disturbing. And this guy is like really tall, must have been about 6'5", maybe more, maybe 6'6", and very slim. And he's the kind of guy that those designers, the makeup and prosthetic designers love. A lot of the stuff he's done is really cool and disturbing. Like in Smile, he's the sort of traumatic flashback mother that the main character keeps seeing, and that's pretty disgusting too. So very cool actor who's able to make these characters really like hit you hard.
The next actor that we were able to interview was one of our absolute favorites, and we've actually talked about him before on V3 Cast, the wonderful Eugene Clark. Some of you may know him as Big Daddy from the fourth Dead film of George Romero's Land of the Dead from 2005. But he's done a lot of other stuff. I'll just give you a couple for instances right now. The most recent thing that he's done is a Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode. He was a Vulcan judge. I haven't seen that myself, but now that I know that, I'm definitely going to check that episode out. And he was in a recent kind of a Christmassy type film called All I Didn't Want for Christmas, and RoboCop Prime Directives. That was a little bit ago. And then also William Shatner's Tek War. He was in many, many episodes of that. So Eugene Clark, seasoned veteran actor. And here's our interview with him.
All right, we're here at Motor City Nightmares with Big Daddy himself, Mr. Eugene Clark. Thanks for talking to us, giving us a few minutes. We won't take up much of your time. We just want to ask you a few questions. So tell us about your time here at MCN. How many of these have you done, and how is it for you?
Oh, it's great. I've done a few.
Yeah.
I've done a few. I'm having fun. I enjoy other people.
Yeah.
Meeting, they enjoy meeting us, and I enjoy meeting them, because without them, there would not be this or any of this stuff.
That's right.
So it's going great. I'm having a great time.
I want to know.
Oh, I'm also a stand-up comedian, so I enjoy doing. They don't know it, but I end up doing some riffs and some stand-up, make them laugh. Yeah,
Excellent. That's awesome. See, You get more bang for your buck with Eugene than you do with anybody else here. Sorry, no offense to anybody. No.
The check's in the mail. I'll send it to you.
What does it mean to you to be regarded as such an iconic zombie?
I just feel honored, blessed.
I mean, there's been a lot of zombies in the history of film.
There have been a lot of zombies. You know what? I've been in the business for a long time, since 1978. I have over 146 productions I've been in. I've been in about 8 TV series, Night Heat for 5 years, couple for like a year or 2 years. And you always hope something takes off, like really takes off, right? And this one did. So I feel very fortunate. When I come to do things, I geek out sometimes. I see people, like I saw, I forget his name, but I saw, he was a kid actor, and I knew that when I was in elementary school, and I'm like, and inside I found myself, you know, being a little kid, and it happens. So I love meeting the fans. I think this is awesome.
Awesome. How did you, this is one, our band Voyager 3, we've been wondering, we talk about this, we talked about it on our podcast more than once. How did you come up with your unique photo op technique? Like, is this a thing that evolved, or how did you come up with it?
Well, it evolved over time. As I said, I used to do stand-up comedy a lot at a club called Yuck Yucks Comedy Circuit. And they're mostly up in Canada. And I did some places in Buffalo, and I used to do colleges, universities, and I missed stand-up. So it got to the point where I thought, when I do panel, let me start writing some material for this. Because they'd ask me questions, and then, you know, you start answering the same question, going, this is boring. So sometimes I said, well, let me tell them the truth. But the truth wasn't funny. So it took me about, actually 15 years to make the truth funny. Because they'd ask, how'd you get the part, right? And then you give them the backstory before the part came available. And then you go places where maybe you don't have, there's like a hierarchy, right? You know, like you got Bruce Campbell, you know, you got Robert Englund, you know, their lines are long. So I know I have my people will come, right? That's what I always say, my people will come. So if there's a huge line for somebody, and I'm here, it's like going to a theme park. And the kids go, wow, everybody's yelling and screaming, I want to go on the ride. So I thought, let me have a theme park ride right here. So while you're waiting to get a signature from Robert Englund or any number of these people, all of a sudden I'm in character. I got this costume from the show. I got the eyes, I got the teeth, and I'm and people jump like woo, and they go ooh ooh ooh. Can you do that to me too? Yeah, I can.
It's the best.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? I mean, I got a 9-year-old. I got bills to pay. I can't be messing around. But they love it. I love it, and then that gives me that sense of live. I get that rush when I do that, and when I see their faces, right? So it evolved from 2006 to now.
It's the best. It is hands down the best. And to say it's the best is almost a disservice because there's nothing even close. So that's how much the best it is.
Well, yeah. Thank you.
Last question. And thank you so much for taking the time. We're a band, you know, Voyager 3, and so we always got to bring music into it. What are you listening to? I mean, either now or anytime. Like, what's some of your favorite stuff? Favorite music?
Some of my favorite music. There's a CD. It's called Eugene Clark's Love Letters. As Long as I Give. That's me, by the way. And
I saw that cover art before.
Yes, and if you listen to it, anybody in a relationship, listen close. And if anybody has the CD, look at the inside. The lyrics are in there. So it's about relationships. So it's R&B jazz. I wrote most of the tunes. I have a wonderful saxophone player named Colleen Allen. I'll sing "I Love You." Then she's the saxophonist. She's really the female. She is playing "I Love You," but a different arrangement. And then I have a song "As Long as I Give," and then she plays it. Now her version, number 4, is my all-time favorite song. To this day, we did that in the 90s. Yeah. To this day, it gets me. Now, when I found out that she was pregnant at the time, so she understood the lyrics, right? There was a song on it. Remember We Are the World, African Relief? Well, I wrote the song Letter from a Concerned Citizen, Starvation in Africa. The Canadian Red Cross used it to help raise funds for that. And I think with all the funds coming in, we helped raise about $169,000. That's everybody, every group that got involved. She plays a flute on that. We did a instrumental version. Oh my goodness. And then Cree Summers was in a show called Different World. She was 16 at the time. I have a song I wrote, Call Me, Help All the Children, and she sings on it. And that's been on the Sick Kids Telethon. So it's called Love Letters, but it's love letters to couples and then for our community. So that's one of my all-time favorite albums.
Awesome.
Right there.
Guess what we're going to be looking up?
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you,
and
brother.
we admire you. And speaking of iconic, your eyebrows are iconic, and it's very fitting a recent role you played.
You know what's funny? The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock, who's now a famous actor, when he did that thing with his eyebrow.
Yeah.
Now, I'm older than The Rock. I used to do that thing in school. I played football at UCLA. Yeah. Mark Carmen was my quarterback. And I saw him and went, okay, I can't do it no more because he's super famous.
He took it over.
You can't help but doing it.
It's normal. Anyway, that's enough.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, man.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. You too now.
Yeah, the guy is awesome. He's so cool to talk to. We didn't want to take up too much of his time and impose on him. Same thing with Kevin Keppy. We didn't want to, pull them away from the crowds and everything, but they were both so generous and talked to us longer than we expected. And like we said to Peter Mengade, thank you guys for even giving us the time of day, because we're just three, scrubs who are just trying to have some fun out there. He's a Renaissance man, and he's super cool, and very, like I said, both of those guys very generous for talking to us. Thank you guys.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so we've mentioned that we were doing our circuits around the convention. We were looking at stuff. We were, of course, bound to spend some money. I think I spent more than anybody else, but let's talk about collecting cool stuff. This episode, it's not just one of us. This time we're going to talk about whatever we got this weekend at the convention. So, Greg, why don't you go first?
Like you said, I kept doing laps around the place because when you're there for 2 days and you're just standing at the booth, you gotta walk around. You gotta keep the blood moving, Steve.
That's right.
And so I kept finding myself gravitating back to the smaller side room. There were some vendors in there. I kept stopping by this stand called Casale Studios, and I ended up later on in the day, I ended up having a really long conversation with Matt Casale, who's the guy, and another guy, and we just sat there and talked about movies, I think, for about maybe a half hour. So, nice. But here's what I got. So anybody that knows anything about me, I'm going to try to do this justice on the screen here. Can you see this?
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, there's something about that poster, because I saw it in real life the day you got it. I don't know how they got the colors to be so incredibly vivid. That is not like a digital print. It's got to be like a giclée type of thing, or a screen or something, because the colors really are so vibrant.
I know, and that's why I kept going back to it, because I'm an obsessive Jaws fan, and it's just cool because it's got like their name. It's got all the stars' names at the bottom. It looks just like a theatrical poster, and then of course I had him sign it over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that the blood is the logo.
Yeah, for
sure.
Him
and I talked about that quite a bit. I think that was a really clever idea. And then I just love how it transitions from like the cool colors up to the warm colors at the top. And, of course, you got the 3 barrels.
Yeah.
Can't stay down with 3 barrels, Aaron. Not with 3 barrels.
That's right.
Right.
So, anyways,
That's a great pick. That's a wonderful
super awesome poster. Very affordable too. So we'll link Cassell Studios, and he's definitely got some other posters that are equally as good from different movies. So maybe you'll find your favorite movie among some of the stuff that he does. But this Jaws one, it just spoke to me.
No doubt.
Had to go scoop it up.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I'm telling you what. I know we were there for 2 days, but because I was in so many conversations with people just like that who came up to the table, and some of them knew the band. We were talking about all kinds of stuff all those days of various genres, and that actually leads me to my pick. Believe it or not, this one guy came up, and he had a Invincible Armor T-shirt on. I couldn't believe it because you don't see a T-shirt for that, never. So I asked him, I go, where'd you get that from? Thinking, did he get it from Motor City Nightmares or what? But no, he told me that there's this website that has all kinds of stuff like that. It's called 36 Styles, and it kind of caters toward the Kung Fu ninja stuff mostly, or exclusively, actually. We talked for about a half an hour or so, or maybe even more, about all kinds of different Kung Fu films that I knew about, that he knew about, and we learned from each other, ones we never heard of. And I have my notes out on my phone, and I was jotting down directors and film titles that I'm going to check out. And then after he bought New York Ninja and then went on his way to check out the rest of the fest, I went right to 36styles.com and I ordered myself an Invincible Armor T-shirt. So that's on the way.
Nice.
So that's kind of like getting something at the con, sort of, but not really. So I got informed
around the con.
Yeah, I got informed at the con, but I didn't get it from the convention in particular. But I did get those couple keychains for my kids, and I got my wife a Nightmare on Elm Street T-shirt, very detailed with no logo though. It's just Freddy on there. So when you see him, you don't need a logo. You know what it is.
Yeah.
All good. And then I didn't get anything else for myself between rewriting questions and doing the thing at the booth and everything like that. I kind of didn't. I went out there the least, I think, from all of us. I did get some chicken fingers though, but that doesn't count as cool.
All right, Aaron, lay it on us.
I was in the poster game too. There was a booth right across from our booth that I had my eye on the whole time, and I said, I was like looking for specific stuff instead of just browsing through. That's always fun too. But I was like, oh man, if they had a Streets of Fire poster, I'd buy that in a heartbeat. So he said, yeah, they're not in alphabetical order. So just look in the like adventure or something like that, the crime section. So I looked and there were Streets of Fire.
There you go.
I was super stoked to find that. Streets of Fire, I won't go on forever, but Streets of Fire is a movie that came out in 1984. I probably talked about it on the podcast before, but it's a movie that I felt like I grew up with. I should have grown up with, but I didn't see it until like 2 years ago. But watching it immediately made me feel retroactively as if I grew up with it. Like if you get a raise and they go, yeah, we're going to make this raise retroactive for the last 6 months, and you feel like you just won the lottery. That's what happened with Streets of Fire. I like just went back in time and grew up with it like I should have. It's a great movie, and it's a sweet ass poster.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I got Conan the Barbarian.
Never go wrong with that.
One of the best pieces of art ever for a movie poster. Can't go wrong with that. And then
that's true.
A very recent it jumped into my top 10 movies of all time.
Oh yeah.
Mandy.
Speaking of Panos Cosmatos.
Yeah. We mentioned him so much, but we can't help it. There's Mandy for you there. The guy who had all the Funko Pops. I could not pass up Ronnie James Dio, of course.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh man, come on.
Of course I had to do that.
You gotta stay away from those things, Aaron.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, when I was doing the live walkthrough, I walked through that Funko Pop booth, and I said, the trouble with Funko Pops is that, you get 3 or 4, and then you say, that's all I'm gonna get, or I'm speaking for myself. You get 3 or 4 or 5.
I think
and that's
everybody
like,
feels like that at
Yeah.
first, though.
and then they go ahead and make something, for Dungeons and Dragons, and Phantasm, and V, and Blade Runner, and then before you know it, you have 37 of these things.
It's ridiculous. Do they have it for Phantasm?
I don't think so, but I did say that in the live, but that was at the moment,
Dude,
without
I gotta check
without
now,
research. I
because
don't think
I would
they
want
do.
that. Well,
Oh,
if they
yeah.
don't, they will before the end of the year. They're just
know.
always expanding.
I know, man. And by the way, if they do have it for Phantasm, then I'll have 6 more, or however
Yeah.
many they end up making.
Right.
And then don't they have the one that's the ball too, the sphere, just that by itself?
Right. Right. 'Cause
Man,
they have
we
the
might be
shark
giving
for-
Funko some good ideas. They might go, why didn't we do that yet? That
Exactly.
Voyager 3 band, man, they're onto something.
We need to do Funkos for them. Yay.
Oh yeah, now you're talking. And
Yeah.
I could come with a couple keyboards, and you could come with a Strat, and Greg has a shiny, sparkly, kick and snare. They probably wouldn't do a whole kit, but you know how they kind of abbreviate.
Well, they
things.
did for Peter Chris.
Oh, did
They
they?
did for-
Oh, okay.
Well, I wouldn't say it's Peter Chris. They did for the Catman.
Yeah, right,
Catman.
right. Yeah. See, now you're talking. Now you're
Now you're
talking.
talking. Now we got
Nobody wants to be Peter Chris, Aaron. Not even Peter Chris.
Peter Chris. So yeah, and so that was awesome. We had a good time. We had a great time at our booth. It was the most fun I've had at our booth ever, I feel, because we didn't have any lulls. People kept coming up to us every just the whole time. It was steady, and everybody was comfortable. We didn't have to sit there like looking at them desperately, like, do you want to look at our stuff? Do you want to talk to us? Like it was just natural. People came up and talked, and we had our music kicking. I think our neighbors probably appreciated it. We had the guy who did art right across from us, and his head was bobbing for 2 straight days to our music because it was a little loud, but I think that's better than any kind of awkward silences or anything. So
There you go.
yeah, we had a great time. And then on Saturday night, it was time for us to play, and we haven't played in a while. And how did that go, guys?
Man, mashed potatoes and gravy.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean the getting ready for it was a little crazy, but we pulled through, man. We
That's
pulled
right.
through.
Yeah, in a convention situation like this, for those who aren't familiar with it, is that there's not an actual, dedicated venue like for example, like St. Andrews Hall or Smalls over in Hamtramck.
A stage room,
Yeah.
a fixed stage.
Yeah, so this is kind of like on the fly. So during the day, it's a room where they have panels, and some of the celebs of various topics get together and talk, and there's a bunch of chairs set up, and it's wonderful for that. And then at night, they flip it into a makeshift concert venue, and when it's all said and done, it's fabulous, and everything works great. But that switchover can give you a little bit of challenge. So we had to worry about the power for a minute, but then everything was all set. So it's not even anything to sweat about. But
Yeah. So when it was time to go, we were rocking, and it started feeling better and better because I was looking around and I was seeing everybody was really into it. Like there was a woman who came from California to see us. Like that just blows my mind still.
shout out to Throwing Knives for sure. Because
I thought like, well, you came out here for like 10 other things and you just happened to fit us in, right? No, but I think she came out specifically to see us.
Right.
And she's been listening to us since Doom Fortress. So, and there were a bunch of people there just really getting into it and really really enthusiastic and stuff. It was great.
Yeah, and we learned a lesson that night. By the way, Greg, did you know that?
What's that?
We learned a lesson. That lesson is, do not omit El Guantanero from the set.
Yeah, it's been a while since we played El Guantanero, and we're not going to let that go again. We're gonna keep it going because people really seem to dig that one.
That's right. And I'll link the music video for that in the description, by the way.
Also, Lord of Doom Fortress, Aaron.
Well, here's the thing: we have 4 albums, so I don't know how we're supposed to play everything from 4 albums. There's a lot of music. How many albums does like Alice Cooper have? Like he's got to choose songs,
Well, here's the thing too: is it depends on the show. When it's our show, and we're the headliner, if you will, then we could play an hour and 20 or something like that, or so. But
And
when
that
we're
was the
opening
thing,
for
too.
somebody, then we got to become really
You got
frugal
gotta
or
go
really
lean.
tighten it up. Tighten it up.
Yep.
Well, when we were practicing these songs, we were like, man, we have too much. We're not going to be able to play this long. Nobody's going to want to hear us this long. And it's going to take forever. And then while we were playing, it seemed to go by in about a half hour.
I
And there was
know.
no discussion of cutting a song. And I was
Nope.
like, wow,
Nope.
we're really flying through this.
We played
So,
everyone
yeah.
that we were like thinking that we may have to cut one or two or something like that. We played all of them for sure.
Played them
that was
all.
great.
I think we played 37 songs.
Yeah, we
For
played every
for 3.5
song that we ever wrote.
No, it was a good. I don't know how long it was, but I think it was 10 songs, and that's a good little
It's a healthy
tally
set.
for us. Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I got a whole list of people that I wanted to thank for coming to the show and just being at the convention. Like
yeah.
you already mentioned Jen throwing knives. She was there with my friend Jeff, and he had a whole crew of people that I think, so Jeff used to be in Conqueror, a local death metal band, and my death metal band at the time used to play with them all the time. And then
That's right.
so since then, Jeff moved down to Georgia, but him and I have kept in touch because we're both like weirdly obsessed with Tangerine Dream. So a lot of times we're just talking about Tangerine Dream with each other. And so anyways, Jeff told me he was coming to Motor City Nightmare, so I was already excited that like he was going to be there, and he said he was going to come to the show. And then it turns out that he was hanging out with Jen, throwing knives. And then I met all of their crew, and I don't think all of these guys are from Michigan. A few of them were, but like some of these guys came from out of town just to go to Motor City Nightmares with Jeff and Jen.
Yeah.
So like I met Paul, Jake, Nate, Will, and Rich. I think that's all their names. So like that entire crew came and hung out at our show, which I thought was super cool. And like those guys were obviously like having a blast at Motor City Nightmares. They were like, I've seen some of the like hotel pictures afterwards now on all their Instagrams because I added everybody on Instagram. So like they definitely made the most of the weekend. And
That's awesome.
Jen in particular, she was like, man, if you ever get out to California, I can take you to the bar where Tom Atkins sat for Halloween 3, and
that'd be killer.
so Jen was super cool and obviously like really stoked to be there, and we were stoked that she was there, and it just contributed to the vibe of the show, having so many people that we knew. And I got others. You want me to list them now, or do you want to do it at the end? How you want to do it?
Go
Man,
ahead.
list
I feel like we
everybody.
I feel like we should thank first of all your younger brother, Steve.
Yeah. Shout out to Sam, man. Thank you for
Sam
hanging
came
out the whole weekend.
He like set up the drums. He put the drums away. He took awesome pictures. His picture,
Yeah.
I think we posted his set of pictures, which he's won a Pulitzer Prize, Aaron.
He's won a
That's very
Pulitzer
true.
Prize for photography. He's
Very true.
the man is a professional, and even the pictures that he takes of us talking look super cool.
I
and
know.
dramatic.
Serious
I know.
business. No
Yeah.
joke.
I don't think we've ever put pictures up that weren't of us playing. But these are pictures of us like just like hanging right before we were going to play, like talking to each other, and it looks
Right.
cool.
Yeah, it looks like we're
Yeah.
out of Time magazine or something. It's like, holy
Yeah,
shit.
The kid's got a good eye on him.
Right.
That kid, that young kid.
Yeah, young whippersnapper. But
that's right,
so
man.
obviously Sam Green, huge thank you to him. Our buddy Ian was there from
Yeah.
Movie Theater Massacre.
That's right.
He was lurking like right behind me the whole set, man, making me nervous. I don't know what he's doing back there, man.
Right.
All I know is he's got to take it easy.
That's
Right.
right.
Corey Dana was there.
That's
Yeah.
I
right.
think
Yeah.
Aaron, you bought his book, right? You picked
I
up a
did
copy
buy
of
his book. Yeah, it was overdue. I should have got it a year ago, but I got it this time. Yep.
So Corey and his wife Jerry, right? I think I got that right. Our buddy Metal Dan was there. He's been hanging around us since the Forge days. So
That's
we got Kevin James and his wife Jen.
Yep.
We got Carl Hoffman and Penny. I was getting to him. And you guys told me that a friend of mine from high school, Valerie Viviano, she
She
stopped by while I stepped out, so I missed her, but I'm still going to give her a shout out. And then the one other person that attended, well, let's just say this. He was at our show, but I don't think he stayed to see us. But I'm going to give him a pass because he was busy staring at Aaron's pedal board, and that's Henry Thomas. You know Henry Thomas from E.T.?
From E.T. and Midnight Mass.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, he might be just
Haunting
a
of Hill
humongous
House.
fan of Phase 90, Aaron. That could be.
Well, yeah, I think so. And Greg, you said he's a musician, right?
That's what I heard, and I got a picture of him sort of like obsessing over your pedal board.
Yeah, that
Well,
was
we
he,
ended up
might
go-
like he might like that fuzz pedal you have too.
He might. That was an honor to know that that dude was staring at my pedal board, especially as a musician, because it's one thing to look at a pedal board and wonder what the stuff does. But if you're a musician and you know the stuff, that's even kind of even cooler. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, so I snapped a incognito picture of him checking out Aaron's pedal board. I don't know if I'll post that one. I might just keep that in my personal collection. But and then like we ended up having a conversation on Sunday with an actor who's been in a handful of TV episodes. You guys wanna hang on to that and have Aaron talk about that one?
Michael Robert Brandon.
Dude, that dude was super cool, man.
Yeah, he was great, and he was like really just real casual, just hanging out with us. It wasn't an interview or anything. It was just him hanging out and telling us about some of the roles he's gotten. And if we recognized him, but he's one of those character actors that you see in things, but you don't necessarily know him like by name, you know, which happens a lot. That's actually kind of a cool mark of a good character actor is that you know their face because you've seen them in like 50 different things. But one of the highlights of his career for me, or his resume was he was in Carnival, which was, I love that show from HBO back in the early 2000s. That was one of my favorites. Also, one of the shows that HBO totally screwed over by not giving him a third season to finish their story. But that guy was in Carnival. He said he almost got the role of Lex Luthor for Superman Returns. And I think in retrospect, he said this too. He would have been better off with the role than Kevin Spacey, considering what's happened to Kevin Spacey in the last few years. So I would like to retroactively cast Michael Robert Brandon in the role of Lex Luthor, and everything would have been cool. Maybe the movie would have been better received. You never know.
Never know, man. Different.
But yeah, that was really
chemistry.
cool talking to him. Really cool.
Yeah. So if you've never been to Motor City Nightmares, keep an eye on their website and their Facebook, and check it out for next year. It's always in July, and don't miss it.
16 years next year, and I think we've already, we already know we're going to be there along with amino acids. So
did that get discussed? Because I wasn't privy to that.
That deal was made.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You've heard it first. On V3
between me and one of the amino acids who we don't know.
That's right.
Yeah, which one? Which one, Aaron?
I have no idea. But we talked. We talked a nice conversation about next year. And it seems like things are going to happen.
Man,
yeah. I mean, so let's just book that hotel room now, Steve.
I know, right? For sure. And if you play your cards right, when you get up and go downstairs to get the continental breakfast, you might run into Ted Raimi. It's a distinct possibility. You never know.
We did.
On that note, we are gonna call it for this episode of V3 Cast. But do us a favor, leave a comment and let us know if you were at Motor City Nightmares. What did you pick up? What were some highlights for you? Did you have a great time? Tell us about it. And for those of you on the YouTube platform watching V3 Cast, go ahead and subscribe. Help us out. And until next time, we'll see you on V3 Cast.